What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another live stream. If you guys are joining us for the first time, we go live every single day, Monday through Friday, and we scan and we, find potential for every single stock. So if you guys haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe if you can. And if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Most importantly, if you guys aren't a part of TechBot Solutions, we're a little bit over 28,000 members. The link is in the description. You simply have to have a Facebook group. Once you get accepted to the group, again, 100% free, you just have to have a Facebook account. Once you get accepted, on the top pinned post, there are a series of group chats that you have available to join. And with that, you get access to network with over 28,000 members. Let's go ahead and get started. If you guys, well, I kind of like stopped because I was thinking of two things. But I hope you guys had an amazing 4th of July. Hopefully you guys aren't too tired. Based on the volume that we're seeing in the group chat, it looks like you guys are doing very well and ready to get this started. We had yesterday off. I'm sure a lot of you guys had a lot of fun, but I'm excited. Yes, to say the least, I'm very excited. I'm going to be showing my screen so you guys can see the exact breakdown of what it is that I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be scanning for stocks. I made a video exactly on how I set up my scanner. So I'm not going to go into too much detail for that, but I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'll show you where the video is and then kind of go off of that. Just so if you guys don't know how to set up your scanner, you guys could use that video to set it up. But then I'm going to show you how I'm going to scan for stocks. I'm going to show you the complete breakdown on scanning for stocks, identifying potential, setting up a plan, and then managing your risk. I want to make sure that we start off by leading by example again. And you should never trade any penny stock or any stock into based on someone else's opinion. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that, especially if I'm catching you guys at a very early age. Only trade what you guys personally understand and what you guys can manage. Meaning, if you can't make sense of a trade, that it actually has potential, or that it's going to do well based on certain criteria or news that you're aware of, then you shouldn't be trading it, right? There's nothing wrong with taking a step back, making sure you understand how to invest a little bit more, and then jumping on in. Or you guys could try simulation trading by TD Ameritrade, and then you can get your feet wet that specific way. Now, the last thing that I want to make sure that you guys understand is to plan out your trades. One of the biggest things is for people, once they understand somewhat of what they're investing and they know that something has potential, you want to make sure that you guys set up a plan. So understand where you're buying, where you're selling, and where you're going to cut your losses if it doesn't go as planned. So at least managing your risk. But I'm going to go through every single thing. I just wanted a couple people to start joining us in our live stream. So there's 150 of you guys right now so far. 100% can't thank you guys enough for the love and the support, and you guys dedicating every single morning to joining us during this live stream. I know it sounds like a bunch of BS and baloney, but I swear, guys, this is amazing that you guys really do this. So the video on how to set up a scanner, it's gonna be this one, how to build and set up a scanner. Not this one. This one was really bad quality. I would suggest to watch this one. It goes, I think, into a little bit more detail. Holy moly, 156, 156. I swear, guys, I did not mean to. It's not the same video. That is ridiculous. That's so funny. And then if you guys didn't watch the video that I uploaded yesterday on the top 5 stocks for July, it's my first time ever talking about and completely breaking down the stocks that I'm looking at for this month of July. It's been a very popular video, and it's getting so many likes. Thank you guys all for that. I mean, I really do appreciate it, but most importantly, I want to make sure that you guys are truly benefiting from the content that I'm putting out there. So there was some news about Amazon, and that's why it's right there. So Amazon and Apple and all these stocks that were showing that they were crashing. Amazon is not crashing. Basically, that video breaks down that there's a glitch in certain data by Google Analytics that it was a glitch. And a lot of brokerage companies were showing that people were buying and selling at $200. So it showed it at a loss of 87.24% loss for Amazon, and then Apple and Microsoft was up $600 or 600%. Regardless, not true. If anything, that brought more attention to Amazon and to Apple, and that's why it's probably starting to bounce. But most importantly, yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get right to it. I usually just go through my watch list and start identifying potential. We're going to do things a little bit differently and scan for stocks. Let me know if you guys like this way a little bit more, and if not, then I can simply go back to my old way of going down on my watch list and scan and pretty much identifying potential on the top stocks that see the highest volume. So this is pretty much my scanner. All I'm going to do is, I know that this time or this price range is what I wanted, the 5,000. Yeah, 5,000 is what I wanted to, yep, right there. Let's actually maybe make it 2,000. And then price change, close, greater. And then we'll do 3%. Oh, that's my alarm. Perfect, let's scan. So again, this is just during pre-market hours. So what this scanner is gonna, filter stocks through the entire stock market is only stocks from 90 cents to $50. It's just a criteria that I have set up. In no way does that mean that you have to do it. It focuses on stocks that are from 2,000 to, there's no max, and 350 stocks meet that. And then the price change of about 3% or more based on how it previously closed. And that's pretty much the whole idea of the scanner. So now I can go down this list, and I'm going to focus on stocks that see probably the highest amount of volume. And I'm going to see their previous close and what they're trading at now. So it closed at $9.80, and now it's trading at $11 and $12. So it looks like there's a resistance at $12. So I would like to check this one out. So let's go to charts. And that was more. So this is how I'm finding a stock that is up. I believe it was up 17%. Yeah. And it's still continuing to rise. So it looks like it broke above $12 once. And then now it's flatlining above $12. So there's somewhat of a resistance there. I don't know exactly why it's actually up so much. So let's go ahead and look a little bit more into it. Oh, so they scored a buyout deal at 22% premium. Okay. Okay, so there's actual news on why this stock is seeing so much volume, and it's due to news that this company is being bought out by another company. So let's take a little bit of a step back. It is very overhyped, so you may want to make sure you don't want to write it all the way down. I'm going to continue scanning because this is kind of an extreme example. It looks like it previously had a resistance here at like $10, but again, this is up to 12, so it's a little bit different, but we'll go ahead and set our alerts on this one. I'm going to go a little bit closer to the 1 minute, and I'm going to put when it goes above, create an alert. I just simply right clicked it, and then I'm going to go when it goes above 1205. The reason 1205 is that was the highest point that it went, and I'm also going to put, it looks like based on what I see right here, based on this point right here, 1180 was the resistance. So I'm going to go here. It was a support. I apologize. So again, buyers and sellers. Still hasn't broken really above it, but let's go ahead and go back to the scan. DRYS. I did see this one. This one was gapping up. I personally don't like DRYS, but there's nothing wrong with checking it out. The reason I don't like DRYS, and I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of feedback, it does a bunch of reverse stock splits. So I think, this stock is definitely a true penny stock based on how many times it's done like 115 reverse stock splits. So I think it's way overvalued. It is bouncing. So it does have a technical support at about $1, which makes sense. And it looks like now it has a resistance right around 140, which is understandable because it's had a previous resistance. It struggled, bounced here at about 115, and then started to rise again. So if the market opens and if it experiences a pullback, not only do we have a point right here where 115 is the support, but based on aftermarket or pre-market hours on Friday, or on Monday, I apologize, it experienced a support here, but then it broke below the support. So just because it's a support usually where it bounces at, doesn't mean that it's going to bounce there all the time. That's why we want to make sure that we wait for the bounce, identify that upward momentum, and then set up a plan. So what I could see doing with DRYS is if it starts coming down and if it starts seeing a pullback, I would wait for a bounce. I would actually think that not only does it have the resistance here at 140, but it has a support here around 120 or 125. I think that's really where it's probably going to try to hold, understanding that I'm going to wait for the bounce, and then once it does end up bouncing, wherever it does end up bouncing, if it's 120, 125, or 115, I'm going to make the decision to jump in probably 1 to 2 cents if the volume is right above the purchase price. So above the bounce, therefore, if it all of a sudden takes a dip, I can at least cut losses right at that support. So therefore, if I get in at 117 and then I stop loss out at 115, it's a 1.76%. It's still a little bit riskier, and that's because it's a $1 stock. So it's a little bit more difficult to cut losses. But I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to trade DRYS. That was just a simple breakdown on a plan. It looks like it's actually breaking above 140, so that's pretty cool. But finally, DRYS sees some upward momentum because it's just continuously been, seeing a downward trend. So let's go ahead and continue scanning for stocks. Let me see what you guys have to say. What is the best software for penny stock trading? When you guys ask, like, what is the best stock or what is the best, software, what is the best brokerage company, I want you guys to understand that that's a very vague question, and that a lot of, personal just preference has to come from that. A lot of people like Robinhood, a lot of people like TD Ameritrade, a lot of people like, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, whatever it is that you guys use. But it really depends on, you need to take the time to read what each brokerage company offers, what their user face or interface is, as in like their brokerage, their platform like this, and kind of make the decision based on that. So I would dedicate about maybe like 15 to 20 minutes if you can before asking that question and doing your own research when it comes to that. But there's nothing wrong with asking. It's just that's a very vague question. It's a very common question that we get within TechBot Solutions. Yeah, and these stocks are okay. Perfect. I saw a couple of you guys suggesting that size. So OPXA. OPXA. Probably a bunch of you guys were probably like, man, finally you picked the stock that we've been talking about. So what I could see is that this stock usually doesn't see much volume. It sees in a couple thousand, but it's trending up right now. It's had a resistance before at 135, which is a pretty common resistance, like the 5s and the 0s. So it looks like it's peaked there. It's peaked there. But what I like about this one is that, well, first, it's had a support here at $1, which again is very common. But it's been showing signs of almost like upward momentum and an upward trend. So although it's hitting highs and then coming back down, the supports that it sets are not as low as the ones that it's had before, unless, you want to count this one, which kind of is. But it's been bouncing and showing signs of upward momentum. And usually when you see this trend, it's a triangle breakout. So usually you see the resistance, if it flat lines and the volume is there, it could pop right through 135 and then it could experience a pretty good volume spike. So that's just a pretty common trend, but it looks like it's already up way above what it normally is, and that's from 70 cents. As the previous resistance. So if anything, we might see, it hit 135 and then see a huge drop. And that's why it's so important to have a plan every single time you trade, because you want to make sure that you have a stop loss set, in effort to, minimize loss, promote growth, and just, manage your risk. And that's the whole idea of that. If you guys aren't comfortable with that and don't understand that yet, then you guys might want to get a little bit more comfortable when it comes to, trading and setting up a plan. What I like about this one, and I did not know this, I'm literally looking at this one probably for one of the first times, is that, it had a huge drop from about $3. That was the previous resistance or support. I apologize if you see that's usually where it bounced at. I don't know what happened, but it had a huge drop all the way down here, down to 50 cents. And it's been trending, and holding above 50 cents overall. Now it's trending back up. Just like it's done here before. Based on previous trends, when it trends back up, it usually hits 150 and then sees a pullback. So if you guys see that, it doesn't hold very well. Does it mean that it's going to even hit 150? No. But does it mean that it can hit 150? Yeah, so it has that potential based on previous trends when it trends up this high. Understanding that, then from 135 to 150, it has about 9% potential. Almost, yeah, 9% potential. From 135 as the resistance to 150. I actually like this stock. It's about 10%. So the only thing that I'm not a huge fan of about this stock is that the volume isn't really there. And that's going to be my honest opinion. Again, you guys don't have to trade based on my opinion. I always want to make sure that you guys only trade what you guys understand. But the volume isn't always there. It's showing good signs of upward momentum. So I like that. An overall support at $1. Obviously, I'm not going to hold. If I buy in here, I'm not going to hold all the way down to $1. I want to make sure that I can manage my risk a little bit more. What I see is, let's see. Right now it's trading around 127 and 128, so it's actually pretty high. If it breaks above 130, you can identify 130 as a support. But this is the thing. I would personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till it breaks above 135, because I know 135 is a resistance based on the past, day, understanding that if it breaks that resistance, it will become the new support. And if it starts trending up, I can buy in, even at 140. But by managing my risk from like 140 to 135 would be a lot better than trying to identify a support where there's really haven't been much of a support other than 120, as that was a previous resistance, which will become a new support. But even there, during aftermarket hours, it trended down to like 110. So I'm going to wait for the break above 135. I'm going to simply put my alerts, and then I'm going to follow up with this one. And then I'm going to put my alert if it goes like below 120, because that's a pretty solid support. So again, just trying to stay up to date, right? I want to hear what you guys have to say about my breakdown. I think you guys were asking about what software I'm using. I'm using TD Ameritrade THINKORSWIM platform. It's a 100% free platform that you guys could utilize as long as you guys have a social security number and can open up an account. You guys don't have to fund it. It's free, stuff like that. So yeah, so Jasper, if you're asking what's a good stock scanner that's free or cheap, this would be it. I mean, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. All right, so I was scanning for stocks, as you guys can see, and there were a couple good ones. We found OPX. I mean, all of these are trending, right? So all of these, I think, have potential. We identified potential on OPXA, DRYS, and more. I'm going to just focus now more on something that I'm usually comfortable with, and that's actually going down my list. So I still have DRYS here, and I would have probably found the potential on that one anyways. But it looks like it's trending up above 144, which is good. Usually what I like about this is that since it broke 140, which is a previous resistance, now it's at 144, so 140 becomes a new support, and it lets me manage my risk a little bit better or easier. But yeah, so that's DRYS. I'm gonna start going down the list and start talking about the three main stocks that I'm gonna be focusing on today probably. And although I really do like scanning for stocks and momentum stocks, I want you guys to 100% understand I'm more of a technical trader. I don't necessarily like jumping in. I don't see as my success rate is way better on focusing on technical stocks and locking in just smaller and more consistent margins of profit of about 3% per trade. So if I trade about 3 times a day, I can lock in about 9%, and it ends up playing out pretty well for me in that case. There's a lot of people like Connor that's part of our group. He's one of the featured channels within my YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe for him because he actually goes live sometimes as well. I believe either before me or after me during this live stream. But he scans for stock. He's a 100% momentum trader, and he does very well in that. So I just want to give credit and make sure that I don't guide you guys in the wrong direction. I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to how to scan for stocks and how to identify potential, and that's why I'm doing it, because I think I have an amazing following when it comes to that, so I can guide you guys in the right direction. But when it comes to me and my experience of scanning for stocks, I don't necessarily, pull the trigger on every single momentum stock because I like managing my risk, and that's the type of person I am. And I'm a little bit more conservative. So I hope you guys understand. I'm going to start talking about the 3 stocks that I'm going to be focusing on today. In no way does that mean that that's what you guys have to, focus on. And they're actually 2 of the stocks that I'm going to be talking about today are one of the top 5 stocks that I talked about in my video, and that's AMD and JNUG, and then the other one is JDST. And I'm going to talk to you guys exactly why and do a full breakdown. We have about 8 minutes till market open, and let's do this. All right, so the first one is AMD. People might be asking, okay, why are you looking at AMD again? AMD is one that I saw quite a while ago. We called out the support at about $12, which is still, it's holding above. People were asking me after this huge spike that it had up to $14.50. Am I going to buy so I could write it up higher? I actually thought based on the previous 2 trends and the previous 2 spikes, every time that it spiked up, it saw a downward trend. Every time it spiked up, it saw a downward trend, but it was consistently moving up. So although it was, spiking up, going down, spiking up, going down, this is AMD. This is not a penny stock. This is a stock that's actually partnered with Apple. Therefore, it was showing signs of upward momentum, but it has a very common trend, and that's that it rises, then goes down, rises, goes down, rises. And then when people are asking me, are you going to invest? Well, no, I'm going to wait till it bounces at about $12 to $12.50. It looks like now it's bouncing at about $12. Guys, again, if you guys don't understand it and can't make sense of it, then don't trade it. So all I see right now is that it has a resistance right around $12.50, as that was the old support, becomes a new resistance. Usually with AMD, right as the market opens, it starts to see a downward trend. Usually what I like to do is wait for the bounce. If it bounces at $12, great. If it breaks below the $12 support, then I'm going to probably take a step back and wait for it to play out a little bit better. I'm going to do this kind of quick just so you guys could see. but it's been consistently showing signs of downward momentum. There has been small parts or small margins of about 2 to 3% from like the bounce at like 244 up to like 270. So, you know, it does have margins for day trades if you guys want to lock in about 2 to 3% for consistent trades. But that's especially during the pullbacks. And again, every time the market opens, usually it sees a downward trend. So if you guys can see here, it, you know, dropped down, it dropped down right as the market opened, it dropped down right as the market opened, it dropped down right as the market opened. So what is to be expected? Does it mean that at 100% it's going to drop down? Well, no, but it's already showing signs that it hit a resistance and that it's dropping down. Again, not 100%, but based on previous trends, that's all I'm going off of. It's pretty easy to understand. And that's why I like focusing on AMD, because it's a higher price stock. It's easier to manage your risk. If you know that the support, what the heck is this crazy line? Oh, I think that's the upward momentum. Sorry, guys. You can identify the support at $12. Therefore, when it starts seeing a pullback and then it starts to bounce, let's say it even bounces again at around 210. Let's say I buy in at like 215 or 215 once it bounces at 210. I don't care about getting in at the lowest price. I just want to make sure that, you know, AMD is starting to trend back up. So even if I get in at 220, I really don't care as long as it starts trending back up. So once I get in at 220, and then I know that the first resistance is about 250, my margin for profit is about, from 250, about 2.44%. So when we were doing the $1,000 challenge, on average, you had to lock in 2.34% to convert $1,000 to, you know, $20,000 within 1 year. So understanding that, this would meet that criteria. And I know a lot of you guys are still doing that. Now, if I buy in at 220 and then I cut losses because I know $12 is the support, that's like a risk of 1.68%. Realistically, I'm going to try to buy in a little bit closer to 215, but I'm also gonna probably, since I know $12.10 is a support, if it breaks below $10.10, that's most likely where I'm going to cut my losses. So even if I do buy in at 220, my potential for risk is about 0.83%. So if I'm trading with about $3,000, that's a little bit less than $30 risk, when my potential for profit from 220 to even 245, which is the resistance that it's currently hitting during pre-market hours, is 2%. Again, my potential for profit is greater than my potential for loss. Therefore, by my criteria and based on what I look for when it comes to trading, it meets my criteria, and that's all it needs to meet. If it doesn't meet yours, then you guys don't trade it. Okay, that's as simple as I can put it for you guys. Now, the reason that I was focusing on either JNUG or JDST, my goodness, JNUG broke the support again. Gee willikers. It looks like it's trying to trend back up again, but JNUG, if JNUG doesn't do well, JDST is the inverse ETF of that, and they're all gold-based ETFs. So again, they're not penny stocks, but what you guys need to understand is that when one goes up, the other one goes down. So understanding that if JNUG or JDST starts showing signs that it's breaking, you know, its resistance, I want to take a little bit of a step back and really look at, oh, that's way too far. So if it breaks above 72, then this could be a new, you know, this could show that, you know, even if it breaks above 71, that could show that JDST is going to be the mover for the day, because it has this like margin from here to here, usually before it starts coming back down. So it does have a small margin, doesn't mean that it's going to hit it, but it looks like the day for today, I mean, JNUG is almost, you know, it's at, or JDST is at, you know, at a high RSI, which indicates that it's more on the overbought side. Does that really mean that, you know, it's going to start going down? Well, no, a stock doesn't. You're not just supposed to go based off one indicator on what that's, you know, indicating that it's overbought. Once it starts seeing a downward trend, I mean, it's an indicator that you can use to kind of like manage and, you know, identify potential. But yeah, so it looks like it's more on the overbought side. Usually $70 is a pretty good sell point, and the pretty good buy point, like we said before, is about $58 to $60 because that's a pretty common support. I don't know if you guys saw the video when I called the support at $60 and the resistance at 64, since it just had a common trend for JDST to continue doing that. But JNUG is the same way. Now it usually has a pretty solid support at about, you know, $16 usually. It's like $16.50. So the lowest I think it's ever gone right here is 1670 based on the past 20 days. And it did break below that. So it is breaking below that support, but until it starts seeing signs of upward momentum, then I can, you know, make the decision to start continue adding to my size. I'm not too sure if you guys saw or I guess you guys wouldn't have been able to see because I didn't share it within the live stream, but I shared it with everyone within TechBud Solutions on the main TechBud Solutions group chat, and I said that I actually ended up making the decision to jump onto JNUG, and I jumped in at an average of $16.76. I was up during aftermarket hours because that's initially where I bought in, and again, this was on Monday. But right now, I do have an overall support where I'm going to be cutting losses, and that's 1650. If it breaks below 1650, that's just where I'm going to cut losses. I'm managing my risk. It's something that I want to do, and the place that I'm going to plan on selling is, I was thinking about swing trading. I have a little bit too much invested in JDST or JNUG to actually swing trade it. I find more potential or more opportunity when it comes to day trading, and that's just what I like to do. So in no way does that mean that you guys can't swing trade it. In no way does that mean that you guys even have to buy it. I just really like sharing the whole breakdown on why I'm trading certain stocks, where I'm buying, where I'm selling, and giving you guys an understanding on why. Because a lot of people just say, okay, I'm buying here, I'm selling here, and that's it. But a lot of people don't talk about the criteria that has led them to understand why that's a support, why that's a resistance, why you're even investing in that stock by managing your risk. We have 1 minute left, and we have 14 seconds left, so we're about to get started. I want to wish you guys the best of luck, and when it comes to trading, unfortunately, we don't go based on luck, but it comes down to hard work. So it looks like you guys are telling me just to hold on to it. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to start sharing my screen. Ooh, I like it. I'm up. All right. So it looks like JNUG has had a resistance at $17. And again, oh my goodness. I am RAD. Oh man, it broke support RAD. I apologize. Brandon messaged me and he said he was in at 270, so hopefully it continues to show signs of upward momentum. For JNUG, it looks like there's a slight resistance at $17. And understanding that, again, I'm at 1676. I'm trading with Fidelity. When it comes to my actual execution, people sometimes ask me, why is it that I don't use TD Ameritrade? I use Fidelity just because it's one that I started off with when I originally started trading, and it's where I have all my money, and the commissions are actually a little bit less, and it's very easy to reach out to a Fidelity rep, and they answer probably the quickest that I've ever experienced with any other brokerage company, and that's just my preference. But I love the TD Ameritrade THINKORSWIM platform, but I do use the Fidelity platform or the Fidelity app to execute and exit my trades. So just giving you guys letting you guys know on why I don't use the Fidelity brokerage or the Fidelity platform compared to the TD Ameritrade platform. CLSN, my goodness. Holy moly. That's sweet. It looks like CLSN is now seeing a pullback. It had a support at 250, so it's a pretty solid support. So to be able to manage your risk, if it starts to bounce, then that's good. It looks like it's starting to bounce as long as it holds above 255. 255 might be the support. Slight resistance at 260, breaking through that. That potential from 255 to even, the resistance is about 270. That's 5%, that's huge. I mean, that's huge for a day trade. I mean, a quick in and out, that's like 1 minute, and you pretty much were able to do that. So for some of you that are trying to look for a quick in and out, this might be a stock that you guys want to look at, but make sure that it meets your criteria. JNUG is not doing, and I have my stop loss on JNUG set. So regardless, I know that my risk is covered. So if it breaks below 1650, then I'll move on and just cut my losses. But hopefully it doesn't. I really do think that it has potential. Oh, OPXA went above. Nice. Ah. It looks like it broke the resistance. That's good. Now it looks like it's trending up to potentially 150. So now it's at 140. So for a couple traders, 144. Guys, we called it out perfectly. 145 again. We called out the resistance at 150. It doesn't mean that it's even going to hit 150, but based on previous trends, that was a resistance. JNUG is breaking the support. It looks like it hit a resistance at 145. It saw a pullback. It needs to hold above 140 to continue showing signs of upward momentum. Broke below 140, guys. This thing's all over the place. All right, I have to go back to pullback. Let's see. Interest 10. Do you really make money trading? Yes. I don't know. So, and that's a very common question. And pretty much when it comes down to asking that generic question, and I just want to like make sure that I kind of like laid that example. So I made a video with Graham, and he filmed me for his channel. And he talked about like, why penny stocks, and it was a creative way for me to, start making money. In the very beginning, I lost, a good amount of money, especially for the age that I actually was. Understanding that, what I would suggest, and I always try to, be as clear and as simple for each and every one of you guys. So for interest 10, and for everyone that's skeptical about trading penny stocks, I 100% understand, because there's a bad connotation when it comes to trading stocks. I understand. But when it comes down to investing in anything, there's always potential. Is it a misunderstanding, or is it real myth that people make money investing in the stock market? No. If you don't know that, then I don't really know what to tell you. People make thousands, if not millions, every single year when it comes to trading and investing, right? It's usually larger companies, and it's usually a 10% of people that trade make money, 90% of people that lose money. But you have to understand there's a lot of people that don't understand how to invest. They don't understand how to identify potential, manage the risk. So when it comes down to being able to manage your risk, identify potential, and understand what you're investing in, you become more of that 10% than that 90%. Understanding that to get your feet wet and to not risk anything, any real money. What I always suggest, and this is because I truly believe in about something, and you dedicate a lot of hard work to understand and be successful in something, you're most likely going to be successful. There's some people in some cases that you're not, but understanding that, get your feet wet. There's TD Ameritrade. They offer a paper trading platform where it's simulation trading, it's fake money, and it lets you trade real-time stocks. Understanding that you're trading real-time stocks, you can trade with each and every one of us. So if you're skeptical and you don't want to risk any real money, I 100% always suggest that. Never risk any money when you're starting out until you prove to yourself that you're profitable with this paper trading account. Then make the transition over to your brokerage company. Once you prove to yourself that you could actually make money, or whenever you feel comfortable actually making it and risking real money. That's always what I suggest. I try to be as transparent as I can when people ask me like, oh, penny stocks are a scam, or like, what I'm saying is like a scam. I never tell you guys what to trade. I never tell you guys to, if you guys don't want to trade, to not trade. I only tell you to invest in what you guys see value in, and to always manage your risk. All I do is I share my best practices, I share my mistakes, and I provide a platform for people to do exactly what it is that I do, but just in a mass scale. Understanding that I don't charge you guys anything. I don't make money off of you guys. And I always tell you guys not to do what I do. And that's really just it. I usually would say that like with my $3,000, I would risk $3,000 per trade. I average about $250 a day. But something that I want to make sure that is very clear and simple is I'm not restricted under the PDT rule, meaning that although I'm risking $3,000, does that mean I'm averaging at about 7.5% profit every single day? Yes, but not per trade. Again, like I said, I average about 2 to 3% profit per trade, and I trade about 2 to 3 times a day. And I do see small losses, but that's one of the things that I do very well is I keep my losses small, and I lock in consistent profit. Not everyone understands, why I just lock in consistent profit. Not everyone understands why I keep my losses so small. You guys don't need to. All I need you guys to understand is like, this is what I do. This is what I like to do. It's consistent profit for me. I keep my losses small, and in the long run, I can lock in, I can make money. And I do it for about 2 hours a day. It doesn't mean that that's all the time I dedicate to trading. I dedicate a lot of time in the back and finding potential, scanning for stocks, networking with you guys to expose myself to new opportunity. And that's one of the biggest things. A lot of people are always going to tell you, for a specific market like Forex, binary options, whatever it is, if it sounds like too good to be true, if I was here telling you that, you with $100 can make as much money as I can when it comes to trading, I mean, theoretically you can, but realistically, am I going to lead by that? If you guys know anything about me, I am trying to be as transparent and as simple as I can and as real as I can with you guys. I always tell you guys to never trade what you guys can't lose and to only invest in what you guys understand. And a lot of you guys sometimes ask me, is paper trading or is penny stocks, the best way for me to start making money? No, I always say get a job, have a stable source of income, and start branching off to different sorts of investments. And that's the biggest thing. There's always going to be people that are hating. There's always people that are not going to believe you. And there's always people that are going to try to bring you down because they see something that you're successful in that they weren't successful in. So therefore, there's no way that you can succeed in it. If the numbers make sense, if there's, if you do paper trading and you've been able to make money by being able to manage your risk, plan out your trades, identify potential, and sticking to your plans, I mean, there's hundreds of people every single day within TechBit Solutions that post their profits, some from a couple dollars, some from a couple thousand. Is there potential to make money? Yes, but it comes down to you as the investor to actually identify the potential. There's a lot of back-end work that you guys need to do, and then it comes down to that. So, wow, I spoke for a very long time. Oh my goodness, JNUG was at 1655. Holy crud. That was scary. I think I'm gonna have to just. It's at 1675 now, 1673. It's seen a pullback. It's dropping. I actually think it's probably going to break below 1650. And that risk is about 1.52%, and I'm risking a good amount. So I think I'm just going to cut my losses right now. It's at 1667, 1670. I'm just going to sell at where I bought at. All right. I'm going to show you guys my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. It's just not showing good signs of upward momentum. And I have too much invested in JNUG. And again, I don't. Man, it's dropping hard. 16. Okay, it's trying to hold above 1665. All right, I'm just gonna cut loss. I'm gonna sell at 1670. Limit order at 1670, and then I'm out. Come on, it can't break this support. If it breaks this support, I'm gonna have to cut losses at 1660. My limit order is set. It's gonna break it. Yeah, breaking crap. Oh, come on. And like it could continue trending upwards. It's just I have a little bit more invested than I'm comfortable with, and come on, freaking. That resistance is too strong. Okay, fill. Freaking crap. And of course, when I get filled, it starts to break above. And that's something that happens. All right, I'm down $26 on the day. Okay. I'm gonna set my alerts, and I'm gonna move on. Again, if you guys like, and it always sucks to lose money, right? But again, it's very little for what I was investing in. It was a little bit under 4,500 that I was risking. Of course, it breaks above it. but understanding that, like, no, I'm gonna really, when it breaks above 17, that's when I want to get alerted. That's when it's really starting to bounce up, and I'm just tired of following JNUG. So it doesn't look like JNUG might actually be the mover today. RAD, dang, it's down to 260. RAD, on my opinion, based on the previous trends, it's just consistently showing signs of downward momentum after this drop that it had. And this is Rite Aid. It's just not doing well. Actually, what the heck? So 260 is the support. If it holds above 260, 265 would be the resistance. That's a potential for less than 2%. Volume isn't where you want it, but I feel, okay, I'm getting in. My potential for loss is much smaller. I would cut losses below 260, so it's less than 1%. My potential for profit would be much greater. So let's just, I don't want to say let's just do it, but I'm going to do it. It makes sense for me. Just as I was about to put my order in, it broke the support, so I would have stop lossed out. All right, so it looks like RAD is not going to be the move today. AMD. Oh, man, this is the one that I was supposed to follow. Crud. All right, so AMD does look like it's bouncing. It is showing signs of upward momentum. It looks like it is showing a little bit more on the higher RSI indicator. So it's above 70 RSI. Actually, it's at 67 right now. So it's showing signs of upward momentum. That's really good. For all those that are live streaming, I'm going to cut the live stream right now because I've been live for, oh my goodness. So OP, I'm guessing it didn't hold very well above 135. What the heck? Yeah, I went to 145. That was a resistance, and then saw a pullback. So at least we called it close to, you know, what the resistance was. That's why it's always important to have the stop loss or follow with the trailing stop loss. So this is more of a momentum trade. It's not something that I'm usually used to, but it did have that potential from low to high end, from 122, which is, we call the support at 120, so that makes sense, to 145. That was 15% potential. That's pretty huge. AMD. If you guys want to let me know in the live stream, how many of you guys are on AMD right now? AMD, dude, same here. True, it doesn't move much, but you have to understand, I don't know where you are at when it comes to your like career as a day trader or as a swing trader or as a trader altogether. But I really don't mind just like locking in consistent profits. I know that's not something that, you know, that's not the whole point of, or the whole, like, you know, idea of penny stocks. I feel like a lot of people, when they promote penny stocks, it's like, you know, you make like in and out. Realistically, based on my experience, it hasn't been that way. There has been some days where if I am swing trading something and I do have a lot of money invested into it, I saw one with LPCN when it went up. It went up, like I bought in at $3.30. It went up to like $4 or something like that, and it was huge. It was like $980 or something like that profit. Realistically, do I try to promote that I can make that every single day? No, because I don't make that every single day. Just because I made it one day, or just because I make it, you know, maybe every other day. Realistically, the average trader within our group has about $1,256. So understanding that you guys are risking, you know, about 1/3 of what I am, therefore your profits, if you guys have a success rate as me, should be about 1/3, right? As well as a lot of you guys don't have over $30,000 to avoid the PDT rule. So am I going to say that you guys can do this every single day? Well, no. Being aware of that restriction, am I going to try to, you know, manipulate you guys and tell you that you know, you guys can do this every single day? But oh wait, once you guys, you know, start trading, that, you know, you guys encounter this rule. You guys have to understand that I'm not here. I mean, I don't benefit off of you guys' trades. I don't benefit really off of anything other than just the exposure that I get from you guys doing. Really, what I love about this group is that we have 28,000 minds that can identify potential, plan out their trades, and then share it with our community. In a sense, it's 28,000 people that can expose one another to new opportunity. And that's what I use this group for. A lot of people ask me, how do I find the stocks that I trade? It comes down to this group. People talk about certain stocks that are doing well. I add those stocks to my watch list, and then I personally, as the investor, try to identify potential in each and every one of those stocks. But that's really just it. That's what I really enjoy to do. I like small, consistent profits, and I'm not here to try to like make it or break it. I'm here more for consistency and like long-term growth, because I know once I start investing more, maybe like $4,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 per trade, my profits are obviously going to increase. But it comes down to time. It comes down to when I'm able to risk a little bit more, and maybe day trade a little bit more. But right now I'm really busy. TechBud Solutions takes a lot of my time, especially on the back end, assisting you guys. And I'm gonna end this live stream here. So the about 300 of you that are watching right now, I want you guys to know that we are going to be launching the TechBud Solutions, account-based platform soon. We're going to do a beta trial for about maybe 300 people. So I'm not exactly sure. We have the number of people that have messaged us or projected that want to sign up is about maybe like 4,000 to 5,000 people. Therefore, we might not be able to allow, obviously all of you guys, just because we need to keep the feedback at a quality. So I hope you guys understand that. I hope you guys don't get offended for those that don't get into the beta trials. But it just comes down to us receiving the best feedback, and it takes some time to receive that feedback. And we want to make sure the people that are going to be the beta testers are taking time out of their day to really give us some constructive and real good feedback, so we can develop the best platform for each and every one of you guys. It's pretty much just going to be what we offer now with the group chats, with the Facebook platform, but it's going to be all under one platform, and it's going to be so much more effective and efficient. And we have certain tools and features that we're going to have planned for this platform that are going to make it that much easier and that much more effective for you guys to network with one another. So I really hope that you guys are excited. And there is probably one of the biggest news that I'm going to be announcing within the next couple of days. It's going to take me some time. TechBud Solutions, I know some of you are probably like, well, who cares? But it's been something that I've been very passionate about, that I've been growing for a little bit over a year now. And we plan to take it to the next step right before we launch the account-based platform. And this news should be coming in about a week. So if I can get you guys' patience, and if you guys can just follow up with the group, we'd love your support if you guys can. But other than that, that is pretty much it. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you guys have an amazing 4th of July. My buddy. Huh? Okay. But pretty much, again, the link is provided for you guys down below. If you guys want to join TechBud Solutions, you simply have to have a Facebook account, and you get a network with over 28,000 members. So if you guys like this live stream, we go live every single day, Monday through Friday. So feel free to subscribe and join us. If you guys like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. But that is it. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Continue, taking time out of your day to identify potential, plan out your trades, and only trade what you invest, what you see potential in. Like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on green. Take care, guys.